Baby, could you grab me that file? Leah Grant's entire boardroom detonated. Her CFO choked on his coffee. The lead investor's mouth fell open. 27 suits stopped breathing as they watched Noah Hayes, the caterer, reach across the billionaire CEO and grab the quarterly report off her desk like they were married. Here you go, baby. He handed it to her with a smile. Leah didn't blink. Thank you, Noah. What nobody knew. This was the 4th time he'd done it, and Leah hadn't corrected him once. Before we get into how a single dad making $9 an hour ended up calling a $4 billion CEO baby, hit subscribe. Stay until the end because this twist will wreck you. Comment your city so I can see where you're watching from. Now, let's rewind to 3 weeks earlier, the day Noah's alarm didn't go off. Noah's phone was screaming. Not ringing, screaming. That's what the alarm sounded like at 4:47 a.m. when you'd slept through the first 6 snoozes. And now you had 43 minutes to wake your daughter. Get her dressed, fed, and dropped off, and make it across town before your boss fired you for being late again. He launched out of bed, his heart already hammering in his chest. Mia. He was pulling on Jean's yesterday's shirt looking for socks that matched or didn't. He didn't care anymore. Mia, baby, we gotta move. Nothing. Dead silence from her room. He ran down the narrow hallway of their apartment, 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom walls so thin he could hear the couple upstairs arguing about whose turn it was to buy toilet paper, and pushed open her door. His 7-year-old daughter was buried under her blankets like she was hibernating for winter. Only the top of her head visible, brown curls spilling across the pillow. Mia Grace Hayes, I'm counting to 3. A muffled groan. 1. Another groan. 2. She rolled over, squinting at him in the darkness. It's still nighttime, Daddy. It's morning. We're late. Let's go. 5 more minutes. We don't have 5 more minutes. We don't even have 5 more seconds. He scooped her up, blanket-stuffed rabbit, all of it, and carried her to the bathroom. She was getting too big for this. In another year, she'd be too heavy. But right now, she was still his baby girl, and he'd carry her as long as he could. He set her down on the closed toilet seat and flipped on the light. She squinted at him, her face scrunched up. I want cereal. You're getting toast. Toast is boring. Toast is fast. She crossed her arms. At 7 years old, she'd already mastered the art of the disapproving stare. She got that from her mother. The thought hit Noah like a punch, the way it always did. Sudden, sharp gone before he could hold on to it. Brush your teeth, he said. I'll make the toast. He ran back to the kitchen, shoved 2 pieces of bread in the toaster, grabbed the peanut butter, checked his phone. 4:51 a.m. He had 39 minutes. The phone buzzed in his hand. A text from Richard, his boss at Prestige Catering. Schedule change. You're on the Grant Industries event today. 11 a.m. Don't be late. Noah's stomach dropped. He typed back, I'm on the Morrison wedding. The 3 dots appeared immediately. Then, Morrison's covered. Grant's bigger. This is mandatory. Show up on time in a pressed uniform, or don't show up at all. Noah stared at the screen. Grant Industries. Leah Grant. The 32-year-old tech billionaire whose face was plastered on every magazine cover and every grocery store checkout line. He'd seen her on Forbes on time, on the cover of some women's magazine Mia's teacher had been reading at pickup last week. Young, beautiful, worth more money than Noah could conceptualize. The kind of person who lived in a completely different dimension. And now he was going to serve her champagne. Perfect. The toast popped. He slapped peanut butter on both slices, wrapped them in a paper towel, and turned around. Mia stood in the doorway in her pajamas, toothbrush hanging out of her mouth. Get dressed. Pink shirt, blue shirt, I don't care. 30 seconds. She disappeared. Noah grabbed his work bag and checked it for the 3rd time that week. White shirt, black pants, black tie, black shoes, polished until they almost looked expensive. The uniform of invisible people. The costume he wore to serve rich people food they barely touched while he calculated whether he could afford to buy Mia new sneakers or pay the electric bill, but not both. Mia reappeared in her pink shirt and mismatched socks, one with stripes, one with polka dots. "Socks don't match," he said. "I like them." "Mia, you said you don't care." She had him there. "Fine, let's go." They made it to Mrs. Chen's apartment with 90 seconds to spare. Noah knocked and Mia immediately wrapped her arms around his waist, squeezing tight. "Love you, Daddy." "Love you too, baby girl." "Are you working late again?" The question hit him in the chest. "Maybe. I don't know yet." "You always work late." "I know." He kissed the top of her head. "But I'm gonna make it up to you. I promise. You always say that too." Mrs. Chen opened the door before Noah could respond. She was 73, barely 5 feet tall, with sharp eyes that saw everything. She'd been watching Mia since Noah's wife died 3 years ago, charging him almost nothing because she'd known Sarah had loved Sarah and knew Noah was drowning. "Go," Mrs. Chen said, waving Noah away. "You're going to be late." He ran. The van was already loaded when Noah pulled into the Prestige Catering parking lot. Richard stood by the back doors, checking his watch with a look that said Noah was about to get reamed. "You're late." "I'm 4 minutes early." "You're supposed to be here 15 minutes early." Noah didn't argue. He'd learned that lesson 6 months ago. He just grabbed his uniform from his bag, changed in the bathroom that smelled like industrial cleaner and defeat, and climbed into the back of the van. 3 other servers were already there. Bryce and Hannah, both college kids working this job to pay tuition. And Donna, who was 60-something and had been catering rich people's parties since before Noah was born. "Grant Industries," Donna said as the van pulled out. "You ever work one of their events?" "First time," Noah said. "They're brutal. Everything perfect. I've seen people fired for putting a fork down wrong." Bryce laughed nervously. "Come on, that's not real. Kid, I watched a woman get escorted out for smiling too much. Too much. Like that's a thing." Hannah shifted in her seat. "What are we supposed to do?" "Not smile. Smile polite. Not friendly. There's a difference." Noah leaned his head against the window and closed his eyes. He was so tired. 6 days straight double shifts when he could get them, and he was still $43 short on rent. $43. That's what stood between him and eviction. Between him and losing the only stable thing Mia had left. He couldn't think about it. The Grant Industries building rose out of downtown like a glass monument to money. 50-something floors, all windows and steel, reflecting the city back at itself. The van pulled around to the service entrance and they unloaded in silence. Richard handed out assignments. "Noah, you're on drinks. Champagne during cocktails, wine during dinner. Keep glasses full, stay invisible, don't talk unless directly addressed. Clear, clear." The event space was on the 43rd floor. Floor-to-ceiling windows with views that probably cost more per square foot than Noah's entire apartment. Everything gleamed: white linens, gold-rimmed plates, crystal vases with flowers that looked like they'd been flown in from somewhere exotic. Noah took his position at the bar and started prepping. Ice buckets, champagne bottles in neat rows, flutes arranged like soldiers. The guests arrived at 11:15. Men in suits that cost more than Noah's car. Women in dresses that looked painted on. Everyone laughing, shaking hands, talking in that language. Rich people speak venture capital, stock options, market, disruption, blockchain, synergy. All those words that meant money without saying money. Noah poured champagne and smiled politely and disappeared into the background. That was the job. Be there, but don't be there. And then she walked in. Leah Grant. She was shorter than he expected, maybe 5'4" in heels. Slender dark hair pulled back tight, wearing a black suit that was somehow both severe and elegant. No jewelry, except a thin gold watch that probably cost more than Noah made in a year. She didn't look like the magazine covers. She looked sharper, more real, dangerous in a way the photos didn't capture. The room shifted when she entered. Not obviously, but Noah noticed. Everyone turned toward her like flowers toward the sun. their smiles getting wider, their laughs getting louder, their postures straightening. She moved through them like water shaking hands, nodding, saying all the right things. But her eyes were cold, calculating. She was working. Noah poured more champagne. An older man in a gray suit approached the bar. "She's something, isn't she?" Noah glanced up. "Ma'am, Leia, she built a $4 billion company by 28. You know how rare that is? Very rare, I'd imagine. She's a machine, no personal life, no distractions, just work." The man took a sip of champagne. "I respect it, but I don't envy it." He walked away. Noah refilled glasses, cleared empties, stayed invisible. Cocktail hour transitioned into dinner. Noah moved between tables with wine bottles, refilling glasses before they were empty the way Richard had trained him. Stay ahead. Anticipate. Disappear. At table 3, a woman with diamond earrings waved him over. "Red or white?" Noah asked. "Is this the Pinot?" "Yes, ma'am." "From Oregon or California?" Noah had no idea. "I'll check for you." "Don't bother." She waved him away without looking at him. He moved to table 4. A man grabbed his arm as he reached to pour. "You mess up my shirt with that, you're paying for it." Noah smiled politely. "I'll be careful, sir." "See that you are?" Table 5, Table 6, Table 7. At Table 8, Leia Grant sat surrounded by investors. She was laughing at something the man to her right had said, but the laugh didn't reach her eyes. She lifted her wine glass, realized it was empty, and glanced around. Her eyes found Noah's. He moved toward the table bottle ready. "Red or white, ma'am?" "Red." Her voice was different than he expected. Warmer, almost tired. He poured carefully the way he'd practiced 1,000 times. Not too fast, not too slow, no drips. "Thank you," Leia said. "Of course." He moved to the next guest. And that's when it happened. The investor to Leia's right, the one who'd made her fake laugh, started telling some story about a yacht. Noah was refilling his glass when the man gestured broadly, and his elbow knocked the wine bottle. Noah caught it. Barely. But in catching it, he stumbled forward and his hip bumped the table, and Leia's water glass tipped over. Water flooded across the white tablecloth, heading straight for her lap. Noah reacted on instinct. He grabbed the tablecloth and yanked it toward him, redirecting the water away from her. The entire table stared at him. "I'm so sorry," Noah said quickly. "Let me—" "It's fine." Leia stood dabbing at her sleeve with a napkin. "It's just water. I'll get you a towel." "It's fine." She looked at him directly. "Really, thank you for catching it before it got worse." Richard appeared out of nowhere, his face red. "Ms. Grant, I apologize. He just saved my suit from getting soaked. I'd say he deserves a raise, not an apology." Richard's mouth opened and closed. Leia sat back down. "Carry on." Noah backed away, his heart pounding, and disappeared into the kitchen. Donna was there prepping dessert plates. "You okay? You look like you've seen a ghost." "I almost dumped water on Leia Grant." "But you didn't." "But I almost did." "Almost doesn't count." Noah took a breath, then another. His hands were shaking. The rest of dinner passed in a blur. Dessert was served, coffee poured. Guests started filtering out around 9 p.m. Noah was cleaning up the bar when Richard appeared. "Ms. Grant wants to see you." Noah's stomach dropped into his shoes. "What?" "Her assistant just came by. She wants to talk to you." "Am I fired?" "How should I know? But you're about to find out." Noah followed Richard through the empty event space to a side room. Leia stood by the window jacket, off sleeves rolled up, looking out at the city lights. She turned when the door opened. "Noah Hayes." "Yes, ma'am." "Close the door." Richard hesitated, then stepped out. Noah and Leia were alone. She studied him for a long moment. "You have a daughter." It wasn't a question. "How did you—" "You called me ma'am 6 times tonight. Most people call me Ms. Grant or Leia." You said, "Of course," instead of "You're welcome." And when you caught that wine bottle, you said, "Baby girl," under your breath. She tilted her head. So, daughter, what's her name? Mia. She's 7. And her mother died 3 years ago. Something flickered in Leia's eyes. I'm sorry. Thank you. She picked up her phone, scrolled through something, then set it down. How much do you make at this job? I don't think I'm supposed to ballpark. About $22,000 a year. That's barely above poverty line. I'm aware. I want to hire you. Noah blinked. To cater? No, to accompany me to events. I don't understand. Leia walked closer. She was maybe 2 feet away now, looking up at him. I attend 15 to 20 high-profile business events every month. Investor dinners, charity galas, product launches. I need someone with me. Someone who isn't trying to network or pitch or climb. Someone real. Why me? Because you're the first person in 3 years who didn't know my net worth before you knew my name. You looked at me like I was a person, not a portfolio. She paused. And because you called me ma'am and meant it. Noah's brain was short-circuiting. What would I have to do? Stand next to me, make small talk, smile at the right times, be yourself. That's it. That's it. What's the pay? $10,000 a week. The room tilted. That's not real. 6 weeks, $60,000 total, plus clothing allowance, transportation, meals covered. Why would you pay me that much to just stand there? Leia's expression hardened. Because everyone in my world is fake. They smile because they want something. They laugh because they calculated that laughing will help them. You almost dumped water on me, and your first instinct was to apologize, not protect yourself. That's worth $60,000 to me. Noah couldn't breathe. $60,000. That was rent for a year and a half. New shoes for Mia. A car that didn't break down. A savings account. Space to breathe. I need to think about it, he said. You have 24 hours. Leia pulled a business card from her pocket and held it out. My assistant's number. Call with your answer. Noah took the card. His hands were shaking again. And Noah. Leia was watching him carefully. This isn't charity. I'm not doing you a favor. I'm hiring you because I need what you have. What do I have? She smiled. A real smile sat around the edges. You still know how to be human. Then she walked past him and left. Noah stood alone in the empty room, staring at the business card in his hand, wondering if he'd just hallucinated the entire conversation. Richard stuck his head in. Well, what did she say? She offered me a job. Doing what? I have no idea. The drive home was a fog. Noah's brain wouldn't stop spinning. $10,000 a week. For 6 weeks. For being himself. It didn't make sense. People like Leia Grant didn't hand out money to people like him. There had to be a catch. Something she wasn't telling him. But what if there wasn't? What if this was real? He picked up Mia from Mrs. Chen's. She was already in her pajamas, half asleep on the couch. Long day, baby girl. She nodded against his shoulder as he carried her to the car. At home, he tucked her into bed, kissed her forehead, and sat on the couch in the dark. The business card sat on the coffee table. He could call. He could say yes. He could change everything. Or he could delete the number and go back to scraping by, always one disaster away from losing everything. His phone was in his hand before he'd decided. He dialed. 2 rings. Then, Grant Industries, Stephanie speaking. Hi, my name is Noah Hayes. Leia told me to call with my answer. A pause. And that answer is... Noah looked at Mia's closed bedroom door. Thought about the rent, the bills, the weight that never lifted. Yes, he said. I'll do it. Excellent. I'll email you the contract and schedule. First event is Friday night. Be ready. She hung up. Noah sat in the dark, his heart pounding, wondering what the hell he'd just agreed to. His phone buzzed. An email. The contract. He opened it, and that's when he saw the clause at the bottom, the one Leia hadn't mentioned. All events require attendance as Ms. Grant's companion and date. Public displays of affection may be required for promotional purposes. Noah's stomach dropped. This wasn't a job. This was a performance, and he'd just sold himself into it. Noah read the clause 3 more times, his stomach twisting tighter with each pass. Public displays of affection may be required for promotional purposes. He called the number back. It rang 4 times before Stephanie answered. Grant Industries. It's Noah Hayes again. I just read the contract and there's a clause about public displays of affection, yes, standard language for companion contracts. Companion contracts, is that what this is? Mr. Hayes, Ms. Grant attends events where appearances matter. Sometimes that means holding hands. Sometimes it means standing close. Nothing inappropriate. Nothing you wouldn't see in any professional setting. This feels like something she should have mentioned. She assumed you'd read the contract before agreeing. Stephanie's tone was perfectly polite and completely condescending. If you'd like to withdraw. No. The word came out too fast. No, I need to understand what I'm signing. You're signing an agreement to attend events with Ms. Grant and behave as her companion. You'll be compensated $10,000 per week for 6 weeks. If you have specific concerns, I can schedule a call with Ms. Grant tomorrow. Noah's thumb hovered over the end call button. $60,000. 6 weeks. Public displays of affection with a woman he'd met 4 hours ago. I'll sign, he said. Excellent. First event is Friday at 7 p.m. A car will pick you up at 6:30. Dress code is black tie. Ms. Grant has arranged for a stylist to meet you Thursday afternoon for fitting. A stylist. You'll need appropriate clothing. The stylist will handle everything. I'll send the address. She hung up before he could ask anything else. Noah sat on his couch in the dark, his phone glowing in his hand, and wondered what he'd just done. Thursday afternoon, Noah stood in a boutique clothing store in a part of town where he usually only delivered catering orders. Everything in the window cost more than his monthly rent. A woman in her 40s with silver hair and geometric glasses approached him. Noah Hayes. That's me. I'm Victoria. Ms. Grant sent me. She circled him slowly, her eyes scanning him like he was a sculpture she was considering buying. 34 waist, 42 chest, 16.5 neck. Am I close? I have no idea. We'll measure to be sure. Follow me. She led him to a back room where racks of suits lined the walls. She pulled a measuring tape from her pocket and went to work calling out numbers to an assistant who appeared from nowhere. You've never worn a tailored suit before, Victoria said. It wasn't a question. No, ma'am. You're going to feel like a stranger in your own skin for the first hour. Push through it. By the second hour, you'll forget you're wearing it. She pulled 3 suits from the rack, 1 charcoal, 1 navy, 1 black, and handed them to him. Try these. Let me see how they hang. Noah changed in a small fitting room, struggling with cufflinks he'd never worn before. When he stepped out, Victoria circled him again. Better. Still not right. The shoulders are fighting you. She made a mark with chalk on the sleeve. We'll take this in here, let it out here. An hour later, Noah stood in front of a full-length mirror in a black tuxedo that fit him like it had been grown on his body. He didn't recognize himself. There, Victoria said, standing back with satisfaction. Now you look like you belong. That was the problem. He didn't belong. And now he looked like he did. Friday came too fast. Noah dropped Mia at Mrs. Chen's at 6 p.m. She was chattering about a sleepover at her friend Emma's house tomorrow, and he was trying to focus, but his brain kept spinning ahead to the car that would arrive in 30 minutes. Daddy, you're not listening. I am, baby girl. Emma's house tomorrow. Emma's mom said she'd pick me up at 10. Is that okay? That's fine. Are you working late again? Yeah, but I'll be home by the time you wake up. She hugged him tight. You always work late now. I know. I'm sorry. It's okay. She pulled back and looked up at him with her mother's eyes. Mrs. Chen says you work hard because you love me. Noah's throat closed up. Mrs. Chen's right. I love you too, Daddy. He kissed her forehead and left before she could see him crying. The car arrived at exactly 6:30. A black sedan with tinted windows and a driver in a suit who opened the door for Noah without saying a word. Noah climbed in. The interior smelled like leather and money. He sat on the edge of the seat, his hands folded in his lap, trying not to touch anything. The drive took 20 minutes. They pulled up to a hotel Noah had only ever seen from the outside, the kind of place where rooms started at $800 a night and went up from there. The driver opened his door. Ms. Grant is waiting in the lobby. Noah stepped out. The lobby was all marble and gold and a chandelier that probably cost more than Noah's life. People in evening wear moved through the space like they belonged there, and Noah felt immediately viscerally wrong. Noah, he turned. Leah stood near the elevator in a floor-length black dress with a slit up one side. Her hair was down, falling in dark waves over her shoulders. She looked like she'd stepped out of a movie. "You clean up well," she said, walking toward him. "I feel like an imposter." "Good. That means the suit fits." She stopped in front of him and straightened his tie. Her fingers brushed his collar. "Ready?" "No." She smiled. "Fake it." They took the elevator to the penthouse. The doors opened onto a ballroom filled with people who looked like they'd been born in tuxedos and evening gowns. Waitstaff moved through the crowd with champagne and hors d'oeuvres that were probably named in French. "Stay close," Leah said quietly. "Smile when I smile. Laugh when I laugh. And if anyone asks how we met, we tell them the truth." "The truth. You were working an event. I liked the way you handled yourself. I asked you to dinner. It's simple and it's real. Except the dinner part. Minor detail." She took his arm and led him into the crowd. The first hour was a blur of handshakes and small talk. Leah introduced Noah to investors, CEOs, venture capitalists with names he'd never remember. Everyone smiled at him with their mouths, but not their eyes the way people smile at a curiosity. "And this is Noah," Leah would say. "He keeps me sane." "How did you two meet?" someone would ask. "He was working an event. I liked the way he handled himself. Asked him to dinner." "How refreshing," they'd say in a tone that meant the opposite. Noah smiled and nodded and felt like he was drowning. At one point, Leah's hand found his lower back. A gentle touch barely there but enough to ground him. "You're doing fine," she murmured. "Breathe." He breathed. A man in his 60s with white hair and a red tie approached them. He had the kind of face that had spent decades getting what it wanted. "Leah, darling, you look radiant." "Marcus, good to see you." Marcus's eyes slid to Noah. "And who's this?" "Noah Hayes." "Noah, this is Marcus Venturo. He runs Venturo Capital." Noah extended his hand. Marcus shook it with the grip of someone testing him. "What do you do, Noah?" "I'm in hospitality." Marcus's smile sharpened. "How vague. Leah, you're dating a man of mystery." "I like mysteries," Leah said smoothly. "Well," Marcus released Noah's hand. "It's certainly a change from your usual type." "My usual type bored me." Marcus laughed loud, performative. "I'll drink to that." He grabbed a champagne flute from a passing waiter and raised it. "To new adventures." He walked away. Noah exhaled slowly. "Did I just get insulted?" "Thoroughly," Leah said. "But you handled it well. I didn't say anything." "Exactly. Marcus respects silence more than flattery. You passed." "This is a test. Everything is a test." She squeezed his arm. "Come on, I need air." She led him to a balcony overlooking the city. The night was cold and clear, the lights spread out below them like a carpet of stars turned upside down. Leah leaned against the railing and closed her eyes. "You okay?" Noah asked. "I hate these things." "Then why do you go?" "Because if I don't, I lose. Someone else takes the meeting, makes the connection, closes the deal. In my world, you're either moving forward or falling behind. There's no standing still." "That sounds exhausting." "It is." She opened her eyes and looked at him. You think I'm crazy, don't you? I think you're driven. Same thing. No. Crazy is doing this and pretending you love it. Driven is doing it because you have to. She studied him for a long moment. You're smarter than you pretend to be. I'm not pretending. I barely graduated high school. Intelligence isn't about diplomas. It's about seeing things clearly. She turned back to the city. You see me clearly. Most people just see the net worth. I see a woman who works too hard and probably doesn't sleep enough. She laughed a real laugh, surprised and genuine. You're not wrong. They stood in silence for a moment. Then Laya's phone buzzed. She glanced at it and sighed. We need to go back in. Dinner's starting. Dinner was at a long table in a private room. Laya sat at the center, Noah to her right. The conversation flowed around them. Stock prices, acquisitions, market trends. Noah nodded at the appropriate times and tried to look like he understood. Halfway through the main course, the man across from Noah leaned forward. So Noah, how long have you and Laya been seeing each other? A few weeks, Laya answered before Noah could. And you're already bringing him to investor dinners? That's fast even for you. I don't see the point in wasting time. The man smiled. No, you never do. After dinner there were speeches. The CEO of some company Noah didn't recognize talked about innovation and disruption and changing the world. Everyone applauded at the right moments. Then it was Laya's turn. She stood and the room quieted immediately. I'll keep this brief, she said. We're here because we believe in the future. Not the future someone else builds for us, but the future we build ourselves. That takes risk. It takes failure. It takes getting back up after you've been knocked down and deciding to try again. She paused. Some of you know I started my company in my college dorm with $300 and a laptop that crashed every 10 minutes. I didn't have connections. I didn't have funding. What I had was an idea and the absolute certainty that I was going to make it work. The room was silent. That certainty is what I look for in every pitch, every meeting, every partnership. Not your credentials, not your resume, your certainty. Because in the end, that's all that matters. She sat down. The room erupted in applause. Noah leaned close. You didn't tell me you started with $300. You didn't ask. The event ended at 11. Laya walked Noah to the car, her hand resting lightly on his arm. You did well tonight, she said. I didn't do anything. Exactly. You were present without performing. That's harder than it sounds. The driver opened the door. Noah hesitated. Can I ask you something? Of course. Why me, really? There are thousands of people who do this for free just to be near you. Laya's expression softened. Because you don't want to be near me. You want to be home with your daughter. But you're here anyway because you're trying to take care of her. That's... She stopped. That's the most honest thing I've seen in years. She stepped back. See you next week. Noah climbed into the car. As they pulled away, he looked back and saw Laya still standing there alone in the glow of the hotel lights, looking smaller than she had all night. Saturday morning, Noah woke up to Mia jumping on his bed. Daddy, you're home? Of course I'm home, baby girl. Mrs. Chen said you might be working overnight. I finished early. He pulled her into a hug. What do you want for breakfast? Pancakes. Pancakes it is. They made pancakes together, Mia, standing on a chair at the counter, pouring chocolate chips into the batter with more enthusiasm than accuracy. Noah flipped them on the griddle, and they ate at the small kitchen table, syrup dripping everywhere. Daddy, did you meet famous people last night? Some. Like movie stars? No, business people. That's boring. Yeah, Noah said, smiling. It kind of was. Later, Emma's mom picked Mia up for the sleepover. Noah spent the rest of the day cleaning the apartment, doing laundry, fixing the leaky faucet in the bathroom that he'd been putting off for 3 weeks. His phone buzzed at 4 p.m. A text from Stephanie. Next event Tuesday, 6 p.m. Business casual. Car will pick you up at 5:30. Noah stared at the message. 3 days. He had 3 days before he had to do this again. He texted back. Okay. Tuesday came. The car arrived at 5:30. Noah climbed in wearing dark jeans and the button-down shirt Victoria had given him that cost more than his weekly grocery budget. The event was at a restaurant downtown, private room. 15 people all sitting around a table discussing an acquisition Noah didn't understand. Leia sat at the head of the table. Noah sat beside her listening to terms like dilution and valuation and liquidation preference float past him like a language he'd never learned. At one point, Leia reached under the table and squeezed his hand. It was brief, less than a second, but it steadied him. The meeting lasted 2 hours. Afterward, Leia walked him to the car. You looked lost in there, she said. I was lost in there. You'll learn. It gets easier. Does it? She smiled sadly. No, but you get better at faking it. The third event was a charity gala. The fourth was an investor dinner. The fifth was a product launch for some tech startup Noah immediately forgot. Each time Leia introduced him the same way. Each time he felt the same eyes judging him, weighing him, finding him wanting. And each time Leia's hand would find his on his back, on his arm, lacing through his fingers under the table, and he'd remember how to breathe. 3 weeks in, Noah realized something. He was starting to understand the language. When someone said runway, they meant money. When they said pivot, they meant failure. When they said synergy, they meant nothing at all. And when Leia smiled, he could tell if it was real or performance. 4 weeks in, something shifted. They were at an investor dinner, 20 people, expensive wine steaks that cost more than Noah's car payment. Leia was deep in conversation with a man about some acquisition, and Noah was half listening when the woman next to him leaned close. You're very patient, she said. Excuse me. Sitting through these dinners. Most of Leia's dates look bored out of their minds. You actually pay attention. I'm trying to learn. That's refreshing. She extended her hand. Diana Chen. I run a venture fund. Noah shook it. Noah Hayes. What do you do, Noah? He hesitated. The old answer, hospitality, felt like a lie now. But he didn't have a new one. I'm figuring that out, he said finally. Diana smiled. Honest answer. I like that. After dinner, Leia pulled him aside. Diana Chen just told me you were charming. I wasn't trying to be. I know. That's why it worked. She looked at him carefully. You're getting comfortable. That's good. Is it? Yes, because in 2 weeks we have the biggest event of the season, the Grant Industries Annual Investor Summit. 300 people. Everyone who matters will be there. Noah's stomach dropped. 300? You'll be fine. Just do what you've been doing. What have I been doing? Being yourself. She touched his arm. That's all I need. But as Noah rode home that night, staring out the window at the city lights, he realized something that made his chest tight. He didn't know who himself was anymore. The man who served champagne felt like a memory. The man in the tailored suit felt like a costume. And somewhere in between, Noah Hayes had started to disappear. The Thursday before the summit, Victoria called him in for another fitting. You need a new tux, she said. The summit is different. Higher stakes. She dressed him in midnight blue, almost black, but catching the light different. It fit even better than the first one. Noah stared at himself in the mirror. I don't recognize myself anymore, he said quietly. Victoria met his eyes in the reflection. Good. That means you're becoming who you need to be. What if I don't want to be that person? She didn't answer. Friday night, Noah picked Mia up from school. She climbed into the car with her backpack and a drawing she'd made in art class. Look, Daddy, it's you and me. 2 stick figures holding hands. One tall, one small. A house with a triangle roof and a smiling sun. Noah's throat closed up. It's perfect, baby girl. Can we get ice cream? Absolutely. They went to the cheap place on 5th Street where 2 scoops cost $3. Mia got chocolate. Noah got vanilla. They sat on the curb outside and ate in silence. "Daddy, are you sad?" "No, baby. Why?" "You look sad." Noah pulled her close. "I'm just tired. Work's been busy." "You're always working now." "I know. I'm sorry." "It's okay." She licked her ice cream cone. "Mrs. Chen says you're working hard so we can have a better life." "Mrs. Chen's right." "But Daddy—" Mia looked up at him. "I like our life now." Noah couldn't speak. He just held her tighter and tried not to cry. That night, after Mia was asleep, Noah sat on the couch and opened his bank account on his phone. 4 weeks of payments had cleared. $40,000, more money than he'd ever had in his life. He'd paid off 3 months of rent in advance, bought Mia new clothes, new shoes, a new winter coat, fixed the car, paid down half the medical debt from his wife's hospital bills, and for the first time in 3 years, when he checked the balance, he didn't feel like drowning. But he didn't feel like breathing either. His phone buzzed. A text from Leia. "Tomorrow's the big one." "You ready?" Noah typed back. "Ready as I'll ever be." 3 dots appeared. Then, "You'll be fine. Trust me." Noah stared at the message. Trust her. The woman who'd hired him to be a prop. The woman who'd paid him to pretend. The woman whose hand he'd held a dozen times and whose smile he could read better than his own. He set the phone down without responding. Tomorrow was the summit. 300 people. Everyone who mattered. And Noah had no idea who he was supposed to be anymore. The car arrived at 5 p.m., an hour earlier than usual. Noah climbed in wearing the midnight blue tuxedo, his hands already sweating. The driver met his eyes in the rearview mirror. "Big night, sir?" "Yeah." "You'll do fine." Noah didn't respond. He stared out the window and tried to remember how to breathe. They pulled up to the Grand Hall, a building Noah had only ever seen in magazines. Glass and steel and architecture that defied gravity. A red carpet stretched from the curb to the entrance, flanked by photographers. Noah's stomach turned over. This can't be right. The driver opened his door. "Ms. Grant is waiting inside." Noah stepped out onto the red carpet. Flash bulbs exploded. Photographers shouted questions he couldn't hear over the roar in his ears. He walked quickly, head down, until he reached the entrance. Inside, the noise cut off like someone had thrown a switch. The lobby was already filling with people in evening wear. Crystal chandeliers hung from ceilings 3 stories high. Everything gleamed. "Noah!" He turned. Leia stood near the elevator in a red dress that looked like it cost more than his car. Her hair was pulled up, exposing her neck shoulders. She looked like power incarnate. She walked toward him, and everyone in the lobby tracked her movement. "You look terrified," she said quietly. "I am terrified." "Don't be. You've done this 5 times already." "Not with 300 people. Same principle. Bigger room." She took his arm. "Stay with me. I'll handle the rest." They took a private elevator to the ballroom on the top floor. The doors opened onto a space that made Noah's brain stutter. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. Tables set with white linens and gold everything. A stage at the far end with screens and lighting that belonged at a concert. People were already arriving. More tuxedos, more evening gowns, more conversations in that language Noah was only beginning to understand. Leia's hand tightened on his arm. "Showtime," she murmured. The first hour was handshakes and introductions. Leia moved through the crowd like she was conducting an orchestra, and Noah followed in her wake, smiling and nodding and trying not to pass out. "This is Noah," Leia would say. "He keeps me grounded." How wonderful! People would respond, their eyes sliding over him like he was wallpaper. At one point, a woman in her 50s with diamonds at her throat cornered them. "Leia, darling, I heard you were bringing someone tonight. I had to see for myself." "Patricia, good to see you." Patricia's eyes fixed on Noah. "And you must be the mystery man everyone's talking about." "Noah Hayes, ma'am." "Ma'am? How quaint." She looked at Leia. "Where did you find him?" "He found me," Leia said smoothly. "How deliciously vague." Patricia sipped her champagne. Well, he's certainly different from Richard. Leia's smile froze for half a second. Richard was a long time ago. 2 years isn't that long, and you two looked so perfect together. Both brilliant, both driven, both— She paused. Both from the same world. Noah felt the words land like punches. Noah and I should find our table, Leia said. Of course. Patricia's smile sharpened. Enjoy the evening? They walked away. Noah could feel Leia's tension radiating through her arm. Who's Richard? Someone I used to date. Someone from your world. Leia stopped walking and turned to face him. Someone who cared more about my company than me. Someone who saw me as a strategic partnership, not a person. Her eyes were fierce. Someone I don't think about anymore. She thinks you should. She's wrong. A bell chimed. Everyone started moving toward their tables. Leia squeezed Noah's hand. Ignore her. Ignore all of them. But Noah couldn't ignore the knot forming in his chest. Dinner was at the head table on a raised platform where everyone could see them. Noah sat to Leia's right, hyper-aware of 300 pairs of eyes watching his every move. The woman to his right introduced herself as Jennifer, CFO, of some tech company. She made small talk about the food, the venue, the weather. Noah responded automatically, his brain only half present. Then Jennifer leaned closer. Can I ask you something? Sure. What's it like dating her? Noah blinked. What? Leia Grant. What's it like, everyone wants to know. I'm not sure I should. Oh, come on, you can tell me. Jennifer's smile was conspiratorial. Is she as intense in private as she is in public? Does she ever relax? Or is it all business all the time? Noah set down his fork. She's a person, not a curiosity. Jennifer's smile faltered. I didn't mean— Yes, you did. Noah stood. Excuse me. He walked off the platform and headed for the hallway, his heart pounding. He found the bathroom and locked himself in a stall, trying to breathe. The door opened. Footsteps. Noah! Leia's voice. Noah stepped out. She stood by the sinks, arms crossed. What happened? People are asking me what it's like to date you. Like you're some kind of— He stopped. Like you're not real. They do that to everyone I date. Don't you care? I used to. Then I realized caring doesn't change anything. She walked closer. What did you tell Jennifer? That you're a person, not a curiosity. Something flickered in Leia's eyes. Thank you. For what? For remembering that. They stood there for a moment. Then Leia's phone buzzed. She glanced at it and sighed. I have to give a speech in 10 minutes. I need you out there. I don't know if I can go back out there. Yes, you can. She took his hand. Because I need you to. They walked back to the ballroom together. People stared. Whispers followed them. Noah ignored it all and focused on the warmth of Leia's hand in his. After dinner, the speeches started. CEOs and investors took turns at the microphone talking about innovation and disruption and the future. Noah sat through them all, his leg bouncing under the table. Then Leia stood. The room went silent instantly. She walked to the microphone and every eye in the ballroom tracked her. Noah watched from his seat, his chest tight. 5 years ago, Leia began. I stood in front of a room like this and pitched my company. I was 27 years old. I had no funding, no connections, no track record. What I had was an idea and the absolute conviction that it would work. The room was dead silent. Half the people in that room laughed me out. The other half ignored me completely. But one person, just one, said yes. That yes changed my life. She paused. Tonight I'm standing here as the CEO of a $4 billion company, and I want to talk about what it took to get here. Noah leaned forward. It took failure, dozens of failures, products that didn't work, partnerships that fell apart, investors who said no. Every single time I had to choose whether to quit or keep going. And every single time I chose to keep going. Her voice sharpened. Not because I was brave. Not because I was special. Because I didn't have a choice. Because going back wasn't an option. Someone in the audience shifted. Leia's eyes found them. Some of you in this room come from money, from privilege, from families who could catch you if you fell. I didn't. I come from a single mother who worked 2 jobs to keep the lights on. I come from food stamps and eviction notices, and not knowing if we'd have a place to sleep. I built this company because I had to, because the alternative was going back to that. The room was so quiet, Noah could hear his own heartbeat. So when people ask me what drives me, that's my answer. Fear. Fear of going back. Fear of failing. Fear of losing everything I've built. She stopped. But lately, I've been asking myself if that's sustainable. If building a life on fear is really living at all. Noah's throat closed. I don't have the answer yet, but I'm starting to realize that maybe success isn't about how much you build. Maybe it's about who you become while building it, and whether you can still recognize yourself when you're done. She stepped back from the microphone. The room erupted in applause. Leia walked back to the table and sat down next to Noah. Her hands were shaking. You okay? He asked quietly. No. Her voice was barely audible. But I will be. After the speeches, people swarmed them. Everyone wanted to talk to Leia, shake her hand, pitch their ideas. Noah stood beside her, a silent presence watching her perform. She was brilliant, gracious, engaged, everything they wanted her to be, and Noah could see how much it was costing her. 2 hours later, the crowd finally thinned. Leia excused herself to use the restroom, and Noah was left standing alone near the bar. A man approached. Tall, dark hair, graying at the temples, expensive suit. He extended his hand. Noah Hayes. That's me. Richard Breslin. Noah's stomach dropped. The ex-boyfriend. I wanted to introduce myself, Richard said. Leia and I were together for 2 years. I assume she's mentioned me. Once. Richard smiled. That sounds like her. She's very good at rewriting history. I'm not sure what you want me to say. Nothing. I just wanted to get a look at you, see what she's trading down for. Noah's jaw tightened. Excuse me. Come on, you're a nice guy, I'm sure, but you're not in her league. You don't understand her world. You can't give her what she needs. Richard leaned closer. She's using you to prove a point, to show everyone she's still human, still relatable. But when she's done proving it, she'll move on. That's what she does. You don't know what you're talking about. Don't I? Richard's smile was cold. I know Leia Grant better than anyone. I know she'll work herself to death before she admits she needs help. I know she measures relationships in terms of ROI. And I know that in 6 months, you'll be exactly where I am watching her from across a ballroom with someone new on her arm. Noah stepped closer. Get away from me. I'm just trying to help you, Noah, before you fall too hard. I'm not falling anywhere. Then why are you shaking? Noah looked down. His hands were trembling. Richard's smile widened. That's what I thought. He walked away. Noah stood there, his heart pounding, Richard's words echoing in his head. She's using you. She'll move on. You're not in her league. Noah? He turned. Leia stood a few feet away watching him. Who were you talking to? No one. That was Richard. I know. What did he say to you? Nothing important. Leia walked closer. Her eyes searched his face. He told you I was using you. Noah didn't answer. He's wrong, Leia said quietly. I'm not using you. I hired you because I needed someone real. Someone who sees me as a person, not a portfolio. And you, she stopped. You've become more than that. What have I become? I don't know yet. Her voice was raw. But I know I don't want to lose it. Noah looked at her. Really looked at her. The woman in the red dress who'd just bared her soul to 300 people. The woman whose hands were still shaking. The woman who'd built a $4 billion company on fear and was only now asking if it was worth it. "I need air," he said. He walked out onto the balcony. The night was cold, the city spread out below like a circuit board. He gripped the railing and tried to think. Footsteps behind him, Laya's hand on his back. "Talk to me," she said. "I don't know what I'm doing here." "You're here because I asked you to be." "No, I'm here because you're paying me to be. There's a difference." Laya flinched. "Is that really what you think?" "I don't know what I think anymore." Noah turned to face her. "Your ex-boyfriend just told me I'm out of my league, that you're using me, that you'll move on in 6 months. And the worst part, I think he might be right." "He's not." "How do you know?" "Because I've never brought anyone to this event before. Not Richard. Not anyone. I told myself it was because work and personal should stay separate. But the truth..." She looked away. "The truth is, I was afraid. Afraid of letting someone see this part of my life. Afraid of being vulnerable. Afraid of..." Her voice cracked. "Afraid of mattering to someone who might leave." Noah's chest ached. "Laya, I'm not using you, Noah. I'm..." She stopped, took a breath. "I'm starting to need you, and that terrifies me." The words hung between them. Noah reached out and took her hand. "It terrifies me too." They stood there on the balcony, hands linked, the city glittering below them. And for the first time in 5 weeks, Noah felt like he was exactly where he was supposed to be. Then Laya's phone rang. She glanced at the screen, and her face went white. "I have to take this." She stepped away, the phone pressed to her ear. Noah watched her shoulders tense, watched her free hand curl into a fist. She hung up and turned back to him. Her eyes were wet. "What's wrong?" "There's a problem with the acquisition. The deal's falling apart. I need to get back to the office. Now. Tonight. Right now." She was already walking toward the door. "I'm sorry. I know this is... I'm sorry." "Don't apologize. Go." She stopped at the door and looked back at him. "Thank you for being here tonight." "Of course." "I mean it. Thank you for..." She stopped. "Thank you for seeing me." Then she was gone. Noah stood alone on the balcony, the cold wind cutting through his tuxedo, wondering what the hell had just happened. He took a car home and found Mrs. Chen asleep on his couch. He woke her gently. "I'm sorry I'm late." "It's fine. Mia's sleeping." Mrs. Chen studied his face. "You look tired." "I am. This new job. It's good for you." Noah thought about the question. About the money in his bank account and the weight in his chest. About Laya's hand in his and Richard's words in his ear. "I don't know," he said finally. Mrs. Chen patted his arm. "You'll figure it out." After she left, Noah checked on Mia. She was curled up in bed, her stuffed rabbit tucked under her chin. He kissed her forehead and whispered, "I love you, baby girl." Then he went to his own room and lay down without changing out of the tuxedo. His phone buzzed. A text from Laya. "Deal saved. Crisis averted. Thank you for tonight." Noah stared at the message. 3 sentences. 20 words. Nothing personal. He typed back, "Glad it worked out." 3 dots appeared, then disappeared, then appeared again. "Can I ask you something?" "Sure. What Richard said to you. Do you believe him?" Noah's thumb hovered over the keyboard. He could lie. He could say no and make this easier for both of them. "I don't know," he typed. "Do you..." The 3 dots appeared and stayed there for a long time. "Then I used to, but not anymore." "Why not?" "Because you're still here." Noah set the phone down and stared at the ceiling. His heart was pounding. His hands were shaking. And somewhere in his chest, something was cracking open. He picked the phone back up. "I'm not going anywhere," he typed. Her response came immediately. "Promise?" Noah closed his eyes, thought about Mia, about the money, about the man he used to be and the man he was becoming. "Promise," he typed. He set the phone down and waited for sleep that wouldn't come. Because somewhere between the handshakes and the speeches and the moment on the balcony, Noah Hayes had crossed a line he hadn't seen coming. He'd stopped pretending, and now he didn't know how to go back. Sunday morning, Mia woke him up by jumping on his bed. "Daddy, you're still in your fancy clothes," Noah groaned. "What time is it?" 9 o'clock. Mrs. Chen made waffles. She says you need to eat. Mrs. Chen's here. She came to check on us. Mia tugged his arm. "Come on, Daddy. The waffles are getting cold." Noah dragged himself out of bed and found Mrs. Chen in the kitchen flipping waffles like she owned the place. "You look terrible," she said. "Good morning to you too. Sit. Eat." Noah sat. Mia climbed into his lap, and Mrs. Chen set a plate of waffles in front of them. "Thank you," Noah said. "You're working too hard." "I'm making good money." "Money isn't everything. It is when you don't have enough of it." Mrs. Chen looked at him sharply. "Don't forget who you are, Noah Hayes. Don't let that world change you. It's not changing me. Isn't it?" Noah didn't answer, because he didn't know anymore. Monday. Noah dropped Mia at school and drove to the bank. He walked up to the teller with a check for $10,000, his fifth payment. The teller looked at the check, then at Noah, then back at the check. "This is a lot of money, sir." "I know. Would you like to speak with a financial advisor?" "No, I just want to deposit it." The teller processed the transaction. Noah walked out with a receipt showing $50,000 in his account. More money than his parents had ever had, more money than he'd ever imagined having, and it felt like ashes. His phone rang. Laya. "Hey," he said. "Hey, you okay? You seemed off last night after everything." "I'm fine." "You're lying." Noah stopped walking. "How do you know?" "Because you say I'm fine the same way I do, like you're trying to convince yourself." A pause. "Can we talk in person?" "When?" "Now. There's a coffee shop on Maple Street. Can you meet me there?" "I'll be there in 10 minutes. The coffee shop was nearly empty. Leia sat in the back corner wearing jeans and a sweater instead of her usual suits. She looked younger, more vulnerable. Noah slid into the seat across from her. "Thanks for coming," she said. "Of course. I've been thinking about what happened Saturday night. What Richard said to you. What I said to you." She wrapped her hands around her coffee cup. "I need to be honest with you about something." Noah's chest tightened. "Okay." "When I hired you, it was supposed to be simple. 6 weeks, $60,000. You show up, I look human, everyone's happy." She looked up at him. "But somewhere along the way it stopped being simple." "What are you saying?" "I'm saying I hired you because you were real, and now—" She stopped. "Now you're the only real thing in my life, and I don't know what to do with that." Noah couldn't breathe. "Leia, let me finish. Please." She took a breath. "I know this wasn't supposed to be personal. I know you took this job because you needed the money. I know—" Her voice cracked. "I know you probably don't feel the same way I do. But I need you to know that this isn't just a job for me anymore." The words hit Noah like a freight train. "What are you saying?" he asked quietly. "I'm saying I care about you. Really care about you. And I don't want this to end in 2 weeks when the contract's up." Noah stared at her. At this woman who'd built an empire and was now sitting across from him, looking like she might shatter. "I don't know what to say," he said. "Say something. Anything. Noah stopped, started again. "When I took this job, I told myself it was just money, just 6 weeks, just a way to give Mia a better life. But you're right, it stopped being simple." He reached across the table and took her hand. "I care about you too, more than I should, more than I know what to do with." Leia's eyes filled with tears. "Really? Really?" She squeezed his hand. "Then what do we do?" "I have no idea." They sat there in the coffee shop, hands linked across the table. Two people from completely different worlds trying to figure out if they could build a bridge between them. Noah's phone buzzed. A text from Mia's school. Mia fell on the playground. She's okay, but asking for you. Can you come? Noah's heart lurched. I have to go. Mia's hurt. Go. I'll text you later. Noah ran. Noah made it to the school in 8 minutes, his hands gripping the steering wheel so hard his knuckles went white. He ran through the front doors and straight to the nurse's office. Mia sat on the examination table, her knee wrapped in a bandage, tears streaming down her face. Daddy. He scooped her up, careful of her leg. I'm here, baby girl. I'm here. I fell off the monkey bars. I know. Let me see. The nurse stepped forward. It's just a scrape. No stitches needed, but she was pretty shaken up. Can I take her home? Of course. Keep the bandage clean and dry. Noah carried Mia to the car. She wrapped her arms around his neck and wouldn't let go. Does it hurt? A little? We'll get ice cream. Would that help? She nodded against his shoulder. They went to the place on 5th Street. 2 scoops, $3. Mia got chocolate again. Noah got nothing. He just watched her eat, his heart still racing. Daddy, you're staring. Sorry. Are you mad? No, baby. Why would I be mad? Because you had to leave work. Noah pulled her close. You are more important than any job. You understand me. You will always be more important. Even your fancy job. Especially that one. She finished her ice cream and fell asleep in the car on the way home. Noah carried her inside and laid her on the couch, her bandaged knee propped up on a pillow. His phone buzzed. Leia. Is Mia okay? She's fine. Just a scrape. Thank God. I was worried. Noah stared at the message. She was worried. About Mia. About a 7-year-old girl she'd never met. Thank you for asking, he typed. Of course. She's important to you, which means she's important to me. Noah's throat closed up. He set the phone down before he could type something he'd regret. That evening after Mia woke up and they'd eaten dinner, grilled cheese and tomato soup, Noah helped her with homework at the kitchen table. Daddy, can I ask you something? Always. Do you have a girlfriend? Noah's pen stopped mid-word. Why are you asking? Emma's mom has a boyfriend. He comes over for dinner sometimes. Emma says he's nice, but not as nice as her real dad. Where's Emma's real dad? He moved away. Emma doesn't see him anymore. Mia looked up at Noah. Are you going to move away? No, baby, never. Promise. I promise. Good. She went back to her math worksheet. So do you have a girlfriend? Noah thought about Leia. About her hand in his and her confession at the coffee shop. About the way she'd looked at him on the balcony and said she was starting to need him. It's complicated, he said finally. That means yes. That means I don't know yet. Mia frowned. How can you not know? Sometimes grown-up things are confusing. That's dumb. Yeah. Noah said, smiling despite himself. It kind of is. Tuesday morning, Noah got a call from Stephanie. There's been a change to the schedule. What kind of change? Ms. Grant needs to fly to San Francisco for an emergency board meeting. She wants you to come with her. Noah's brain stuttered. San Francisco? When? Thursday morning. You'll be back Friday night. All expenses covered, of course. I can't just leave for 2 days. I have Mia. Ms. Grant anticipated that. She's arranged for a full-time nanny to stay with Mia while you're gone. Fully vetted, background-checked, excellent references. A stranger is not watching my daughter. Then we can arrange for Mrs. Chen to be compensated for extended care. Whatever works for you. Noah rubbed his face. Let me think about it. Ms. Grant needs an answer by tonight. Stephanie hung up. Noah sat on his couch staring at his phone. San Francisco. 2 days. Leaving Mia. He called Leia. Hey, she answered. Did Stephanie call? Yeah. I can't go to San Francisco. Why not? Because I have a daughter, Leia. I can't just fly across the country on 2 days' notice. I'm not asking you to abandon her. I'm asking you to bring help while you're gone. Mrs. Chen is 73 years old. I can't ask her to watch Mia for 2 straight days. Then I'll pay for the nanny. She's wonderful, Noah. I use her for my sister's kids all the time. You have a sister? Leia paused. Yes, she has 3 kids. Lives in Portland. The nanny has watched them dozens of times. Noah didn't know Leia had a sister. Didn't know she had nieces or nephews. Didn't know anything about her life outside the events and dinners and speeches. I need to meet her first, he said. The nanny. I need to meet her, and so does Mia. Done. I'll have her at your apartment tonight at 7. Leia. I need you there, Noah. This board meeting is going to be brutal. I need someone in that room who's on my side. You have a whole company on your side. No. I have a whole company that depends on me not failing. That's different. Her voice dropped. Please. I'm asking you as... She stopped. I'm asking you as someone who cares about you. Noah closed his eyes. I'll meet the nanny. If Mia likes her, I'll go. Thank you. The nanny arrived at 7 p.m. sharp. Her name was Margaret, and she was in her 50s with kind eyes and a warm smile. She brought a bag full of games and art supplies. Mia was suspicious at first, hiding behind Noah's leg. But Margaret pulled out a set of watercolors, and within 10 minutes they were sitting at the kitchen table painting together. Noah watched from the doorway. After an hour, Margaret packed up her supplies. She's wonderful, Margaret said quietly. You've raised a good kid. Thank you. I'll be here Thursday at 6 a.m. We'll have a great time. After Margaret left, Noah knelt down next to Mia. What do you think? She's nice. Would you be okay if she stayed with you for 2 days while I go on a work trip? Mia's face fell. You're leaving? Just for 2 days. I'll be back Friday night. You never leave. I know, but this is important. More important than me. The question hit Noah in the chest. Nothing is more important than you. But this job is helping us, baby girl. It's why we can afford new shoes and why the car doesn't break down anymore. Mia looked at the floor. Okay. You sure? I guess. Noah pulled her into a hug. I love you so much. Love you too, Daddy. But she didn't sound convinced. Wednesday night, Noah couldn't sleep. He lay in bed staring at the ceiling, his mind racing. Tomorrow, he'd get on a plane for the first time in his life. Tomorrow, he'd fly to San Francisco with a billionaire. Tomorrow, he'd leave his daughter with someone he'd met once. His phone buzzed. Leia. You awake? Yeah. Nervous about tomorrow. Terrified. Me too. Noah stared at the message. She was terrified. Leia Grant, who'd faced down 300 investors without flinching, was terrified. Why, he typed. Because this board meeting could cost me my company, and because I'm bringing you into that room, and everyone's going to judge you, and I'm terrified you'll realize I'm not worth it. Noah's chest ached. You're worth it, he typed. I promise. 3 dots appeared and disappeared. Then, I hope you still think that after tomorrow. Thursday morning came too fast. Noah kissed Mia goodbye at 5:45 a.m. while she was still half asleep. Margaret arrived right on time, and Noah left before he could change his mind. The car picked him up at 6. They drove to a private airfield where a small jet sat waiting on the tarmac. Noah stared at it through the window. That's not a commercial flight. The driver smiled. No, sir. Leia stood at the bottom of the stairs leading up to the plane. She wore a black suit and carried a leather briefcase. She looked like she hadn't slept. Ready? She asked. No. Good. Me neither. They climbed the stairs. Inside the plane was all leather seats and polished wood. Noah had never seen anything like it. Sit anywhere, Leia said. Noah chose a seat by the window. Leia sat across from him. The pilot's voice came over the speaker. We'll be taking off in 5 minutes, Ms. Grant. Thank you, David. The plane started moving. Noah gripped the armrests. First time flying? Leia asked. That obvious. You look like you're about to pass out. I might. She reached across and took his hand. Close your eyes. Breathe with me. Noah closed his eyes, felt the plane accelerate, felt the wheels leave the ground, felt his stomach drop. Still breathing? Leia asked. Barely. You're doing great. After 10 minutes, Noah opened his eyes. They were above the clouds, and everything below was miniature. Wow, he said. Leia smiled. Beautiful, isn't it? Yeah. They flew in silence for a while. Then Leia opened her briefcase and pulled out a stack of papers. I need to prep for the meeting. Do you mind? Go ahead. She worked for an hour reading documents and making notes. Noah watched the clouds and tried not to think about how high up they were. Eventually, Leia set the papers down and rubbed her eyes. This is bad, she said. What's bad? The board wants to remove me as CEO. Noah stared at her. What? There's a faction that thinks I'm too aggressive, too risky. They want someone more conservative at the helm. She laughed bitterly. Someone like Richard. Your ex. He's on the board now. He's been campaigning against me for months. Can they actually remove you? If they get enough votes, yes. How many votes do they have? 4 confirmed. They need 6. How many are on the board? 11. Noah did the math. So you need at least 6 people on your side. I have 5 confirmed. The rest are undecided. What happens if you lose? Leia looked out the window. I lose my company. Everything I've built for the last 5 years. Gone. What can I do? She turned back to him. You're already doing it. You're here. That's enough. But Noah could see it wasn't enough. Could see the fear in her eyes. Could see her trying to hold it together and failing. He reached across and took her hand. We'll figure it out. How? I don't know, but we will. She squeezed his hand. I hope you're right. They landed in San Francisco at 11 a.m. A car was waiting to take them to Grant Industries' West Coast office, a glass tower in the financial district. Inside, employees moved through the halls with purpose. Everyone nodded at Leia as she passed. She nodded back, her face a mask. The board meeting was on the 20th floor. Leia stopped outside the conference room door. I need you to wait out here. Board meetings are private. Then why did you bring me? Because I needed to know you were close. She looked at him. Is that selfish? No. She kissed his cheek, quick, barely there. Thank you. Then she walked into the conference room and closed the door. Noah sat in the hallway on a leather couch and waited. An hour passed. 2, 3. At 2:30 the door opened. Leia stepped out. Her face was pale, her eyes red. Noah stood. What happened? They voted, 6-5. What does that mean? It means I'm done, effective immediately. Noah's world tilted. They can't. They can. And they did. Her voice was hollow. I built this company. I gave it everything. And they just took it away. Leia. I need to go. I need to get out of here. She walked toward the elevator. Noah followed. They rode down in silence, got into the car in silence. The driver pulled away from the building. Where to, Ms. Grant? Hotel. Any hotel. I don't care. They checked into a hotel near the airport. Leia walked into the room and sat on the edge of the bed staring at nothing. Noah sat next to her. Talk to me. What's there to say I lost? Richard won. He's probably celebrating right now. So fight back. There's nothing to fight. It's over. It's not over until you say it is. Leia looked at him. Her eyes were devastated. You don't understand. That company was my life. It was everything. And now, her voice broke. Now, I'm nothing. You're not nothing. Then what am I? Noah took her face in his hands. You're Leia Grant. You're the woman who built a company from $300. You're the woman who stood in front of 300 people and told them success is about who you become. You're the woman who hired a broke single dad and treated him like he mattered. His voice was fierce. "You're not your company. You're so much more than that." Tears spilled down her cheeks. "I don't know how to be anything else." "Then we'll figure it out together." She collapsed against him, and he held her while she cried. Held her while she fell apart. Held her because there was nothing else to do. An hour later, she pulled back and wiped her eyes. "I'm sorry. This is unprofessional. Stop apologizing. I don't know what to do now. You get up. You figure out what's next. You keep going. That's what you did when your wife died." The question caught him off guard. "Yeah, that's what I did." "How?" "1 day at a time, 1 hour at a time, sometimes 1 minute at a time." He took her hand. "And I had Mia. She gave me a reason to keep going. I don't have that." "Yes, you do." "What?" "Me." The word came out before he could stop it. "You have me, if you want." Leia stared at him. "What are you saying?" "I'm saying this stopped being a job for me weeks ago. I'm saying I care about you, really care about you, and I'm not going anywhere. Even though I don't have a company anymore, even though I can't pay you. I don't want your money, Leia. I want you." She kissed him. It wasn't planned, wasn't calculated. It was desperate, and raw and real. When they pulled apart, Noah's heart was pounding. "I'm sorry," Leia whispered. "I shouldn't have." "Don't apologize. This is complicated. I know. You have Mia to think about. I know that too. So what do we do?" Noah took a breath. "We go home. We figure it out, 1 day at a time." Just like that. Just like that. She kissed him again, softer this time. "Okay." They flew back to the city that night. Noah fell asleep on the plane, his head on Leia's shoulder. When he woke up, they were landing. The car dropped him at his apartment at 11 p.m. Margaret met him at the door. "She's been asleep since 8, no problems at all." "Thank you." After Margaret left, Noah checked on Mia. She was curled up in bed, her stuffed rabbit tucked under her chin. He kissed her forehead. "I'm home, baby girl." She stirred. "Daddy." "Yeah, it's me." "You came back." "I told you I would." She wrapped her arms around his neck. "Don't leave again." "I won't. I promise." He lay down next to her and held her until she fell back asleep. His phone buzzed. "Leia, thank you for today, for everything. You don't have to thank me." "Yes, I do. You saved me." Noah stared at the message. "You saved me too," he typed. "You just don't know it yet." Friday morning, Noah woke up to Mia bouncing on his bed. "Daddy, you're still here." "Of course I'm still here. Can we have pancakes?" "Absolutely." They made pancakes together, and Noah felt something shift inside him. Something settle. His phone rang. "Leia." "Hey," he answered. "Hey, can I see you today? I need to talk to you about something." "Sure. What time?" "Noon, same coffee shop. I'll be there." He dropped Mia at school and drove to the coffee shop. Leia was already there, wearing jeans and a sweater again. She looked tired but calmer. "How are you?" Noah asked, sitting down. "Better. I've been thinking a lot since yesterday." "About what?" "About what's next. About what I want." She took a breath. "I'm starting a new company." Noah blinked. "Already? I can't sit still, Noah. It's not in my nature. And I have ideas, so many ideas. I just need to figure out the funding." "You'll figure it out." "I hope so." She reached across and took his hand. "And I want you with me." "What do you mean?" "I mean, I want to hire you, officially. Not as a date or a companion, as a partner. Someone who keeps me grounded. Someone who reminds me why I'm doing this." "Leia, I don't know anything about running a company. You don't need to. You just need to be you." She squeezed his hand. "I need you, Noah. Not your resume, not your credentials. You." Noah's throat closed up. "I don't know what to say." Say yes. He looked at her, at this woman who'd lost everything and was already building it back. At this woman who was brave enough to fall apart and strong enough to get back up. Yes, he said. I'm in. She smiled, a real smile, the first one he'd seen in days. Thank you. But I have one condition. What's that? Mia comes first, always. If she needs me, I drop everything. No exceptions. Of course, I wouldn't have it any other way. They sat there in the coffee shop, hands linked across the table, two people who'd found each other in the most unlikely place and were brave enough to see where it might go. Noah's phone buzzed. A text from Mrs. Chen. Mia forgot her lunch. Can you drop it off at school? Noah stood. I have to go. Go. We'll talk more later. He started to walk away, then turned back. Laya. Yeah. We're going to be okay. You know that, right? She smiled. Yeah, I think we are. Noah drove to Mia's school with her lunch, and his heart lighter than it had been in weeks. For the first time since his wife died, Noah Hayes felt like he could breathe. And for the first time in 5 years, Leah Grant felt like she might finally be seen. Two broken people. One impossible situation. And somehow, against all odds, a chance at something real. Noah dropped off Mia's lunch at school and sat in his car for 10 minutes. His hands on the steering wheel, trying to process what had just happened. Leah wanted him as a partner. Not a paid companion. Not a prop. A partner. His phone rang. Richard, his old boss from Prestige Catering. Noah, where the hell have you been? I've been working the grant contract, you know that. That contract ended yesterday. You were supposed to report back this morning. Noah's stomach dropped. He'd completely forgotten. I'm sorry, I can come in tomorrow. Don't bother, I gave your shifts to someone else. You're done. Richard, wait. The line went dead. Noah stared at his phone. He'd just lost his job. His real job. The one that had kept him afloat for 3 years. He called Leah. Hey, she answered. Did Mia get her lunch? Yeah, listen, I need to ask you something. What's wrong? You sound weird. When you said you wanted to hire me as a partner, what does that actually mean? Salary, benefits. Anything concrete? Leah was quiet for a moment. I don't have funding yet, Noah. I can't pay you until I do, but once I secure investors. How long will that take? I don't know. A few weeks. Maybe a month. Noah's chest tightened. I just lost my catering job. I have rent due in 12 days. I have... He stopped. I can't work for free, Leah. Not right now. I understand. Let me make some calls. I'll figure something out. How? I don't know yet, but I will. Her voice was fierce. I promise. She hung up. Noah sat in his car outside Mia's school and felt the weight of the last 6 weeks crash down on him. He'd walked away from his stable job for something that might not even exist. He'd let himself believe that money and opportunity could change his life. He'd been stupid enough to think he belonged in Leah's world. And now he had nothing. That night, Noah made dinner for Mia spaghetti from a box and tried to act normal. But she could tell something was wrong. Daddy, are you sad again? Just tired, baby girl. You're always tired now. I know. She set down her fork. I don't like your new job. Why not? Because it makes you sad. And you're not home as much. And you look different. Different how? I don't know. Just different. She looked at her plate. I liked it better before. When it was just us. Noah's throat closed. Me too, baby girl. After Mia went to bed, Noah sat on the couch and opened his bank account. $50,000. Enough to survive for a few months if he was careful. But then what? His phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. This is Richard Breslin. We need to talk. Call me. Noah stared at the message. Leah's ex-boyfriend. The one who'd told him he wasn't good enough. The one who'd orchestrated her removal from the company. He called. Richard answered on the first ring. Noah, thanks for calling back. What do you want? I want to offer you a job. Noah's brain stuttered. What? I'm the new CEO of Grant Industries. I need someone who understands Leia's vision but isn't loyal to her anymore. Someone who can bridge the gap between what she built and where we're going. You're insane if you think I'd work for you. Hear me out. I'll pay you $80,000 a year, full benefits, 401k, health insurance for you and your daughter. All you have to do is consult on product development. Help us understand what made Leia's approach work. You want me to betray her? I want you to be practical. Leia doesn't have a company anymore, Noah. She can't pay you. She can't give you stability, but I can. No. Think about your daughter. Think about what's best for her. I am thinking about her. And what's best for her is having a father with integrity. Integrity doesn't pay rent. Go to hell. Noah hung up. His hands were shaking. He texted Leia, Richard just offered me a job. She called immediately. What did he offer? $80,000 a year. Benefits. He wants me to consult on your old products. Are you going to take it? No. Noah. I said no, Leia. But that's good money. That's stability. I don't care. You have to care. You have Mia. Which is exactly why I'm saying no. I can't teach her that loyalty means nothing, that you sell out the people you care about for a paycheck. Leia was quiet. Then, thank you. For what? For choosing me. I'll always choose you. The words hung between them. I'll have funding by next week, Leia said. I promise. Just hold on a little longer. I'll hold on as long as it takes. After they hung up, Noah lay on his couch and stared at the ceiling. He'd just turned down $80,000, turned down stability and benefits and everything Mia needed. He hoped to God he'd made the right choice. Monday morning, Noah got a call from Stephanie. Ms. Grant has a meeting with potential investors tomorrow. She wants you there. Why? She says you're part of her pitch. I don't understand. Neither do I. But she was very clear. Tomorrow at 2 p.m. Dress code is business casual. I'll send you the address. The meeting was at a venture capital firm downtown. Noah arrived 15 minutes early, wearing the clothes Victoria had given him weeks ago. Leia met him in the lobby. She wore a navy suit and looked like she hadn't slept. You ready? She asked. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Just be yourself. That's all I need. They took the elevator to the 10th floor. The investor, a woman named Catherine Wu, met them in a conference room. She was in her 40s, sharp-eyed, dressed in all black. Leia, good to see you again. Catherine, thank you for taking this meeting. Catherine's eyes slid to Noah. And you are? Noah Hayes. He's my partner, Leia said. Catherine raised an eyebrow. I didn't realize you'd taken on a partner. It's recent. They sat down. Catherine folded her hands on the table. So, you want to start another company? Yes. After being removed from your last one? Yes. Why should I invest in you when your own board voted you out? Leia didn't flinch. Because they voted me out for being too aggressive, too willing to take risks, too focused on innovation over profit margins. And that's exactly why I'll succeed this time. That's not a very compelling pitch, very. Then let me give you a better one. Leia pulled out a tablet and brought up a presentation. Social media is broken. Everyone knows it. It's toxic, addictive, and designed to keep people scrolling instead of connecting. My new company will fix that. How? By building a platform that rewards real human connection, not engagement metrics, not ad revenue, real conversations, real relationships, real community. Catherine leaned back. That's idealistic. It's necessary. How will you monetize? Subscription model. No ads. No algorithms designed to manipulate. Just a space where people can actually connect without being sold to. That'll never work. It will. Because people are desperate for it. They're tired of being commodities. They want to be humans again. Catherine looked at Noah. And what's your role in all this? Noah glanced at Leia. She nodded. I keep her honest, Noah said. I remind her why we're building this. Not for profit, not for growth. For people. You're not a tech person. No. You're not a business person. No. So what are you? I'm someone who knows what it's like to struggle. To work 3 jobs and still come up short. To feel invisible in a world that only sees you when you're serving them. Noah leaned forward. Leia's building this company for people like me, and I'm here to make sure she doesn't forget that. Catherine studied him. Then she looked at Leia. I'll invest. $2 million. 20% equity. Leia's eyes went wide. Seriously? Seriously. But I have one condition. What's that? He stays. Catherine pointed at Noah. If he leaves, I pull my funding. Done? Leia said immediately. They shook hands. Catherine stood. I'll have my lawyers draw up the paperwork. Expect it by Friday. After Catherine left, Leia turned to Noah and threw her arms around him. We did it. Oh my God, we did it. Noah held her, his heart pounding. You did it. No, we did it, together. They pulled apart. Leia's eyes were shining. I can pay you now. $60,000 a year to start. Is that okay? That's more than okay. And Noah? She took his hand. Thank you. For believing in me. For showing up. For being exactly who you are. I didn't do anything. You did everything. They left the building together, and Noah felt something shift inside him. Something that felt dangerously close to hope. Tuesday night, Noah took Mia out for dinner to celebrate. They went to the diner on 7th Street, her favorite place, because they had unlimited fries. Daddy, you're smiling. I had a good day. What happened? I got a new job. A real one. With the fancy lady? Noah laughed. Yeah, with the fancy lady. Is she nice? Very nice. Mia dunked a fry in ketchup. Do you like her? Yeah, baby girl, I do. Like her. Noah's chest tightened. Maybe. Are you going to marry her? Whoa, that's a big jump. Emma says when grown-ups like each other, they get married. Emma says a lot of things. But is it true? Noah looked at his daughter, his smart, observant, too perceptive for her own good daughter, and decided to be honest. I don't know what's going to happen, but I know I like her, and I know she makes me happy. Is that okay? Mia thought about it. Does she make you sad too? Sometimes. But that's okay. People are complicated. That's what you always say. Because it's true. Mia ate another fry. Can I meet her? Noah's heart stopped. You want to meet her? Yeah. If she's important to you, I should meet her. Let me talk to her first, okay? Okay. That night after Mia was asleep, Noah called Leia. Hey, she answered. What's up? Mia wants to meet you. Silence. Then, really? Yeah, I told her you're important to me. She said she should meet you. What did you say? I said I'd ask you. Of course I'll meet her. When? I don't know. Soon. I just wanted to make sure you were okay with it first. Noah, I'm more than okay with it. I've been wanting to meet her since the day you told me about her. Why didn't you say anything? Because I didn't want to push. I know she's the most important person in your life. I didn't want to... She stopped. I didn't want to screw this up. You won't. How do you know? Because you're you. Leia laughed softly. That's not very reassuring. It is to me. They made plans for Saturday. Lunch at a park near Noah's apartment. Somewhere casual, somewhere Mia would feel comfortable. After he hung up, Noah sat on his couch and realized he was terrified. Because introducing Leia to Mia meant this was real. Meant he was letting her into the most important part of his life. And if it didn't work, he'd lose everything. Saturday came too fast. Noah woke up with his stomach in knots. He made Mia pancakes and tried to act normal, but she could tell. "Daddy, you're nervous." "A little." "Why, you said she's nice." "She is. I just want you to like her." "I'll like her if you like her." "That's not how it works." Mia shrugged. "It is for me." They got to the park at noon. Laya was already there, sitting on a bench wearing jeans and a sweater. She looked more nervous than Noah felt. "Hi," Noah said. She stood. "Hi." Mia hid behind Noah's leg. Laya crouched down to Mia's level. "Hi, Mia. I'm Laya. Your dad's told me so much about you." Mia peeked out. "Like what?" "Like how you're really smart, and how you love chocolate ice cream, and how you're the best thing that ever happened to him." Mia looked up at Noah. "You said that." "Every word." Mia stepped out from behind Noah's leg. "Do you have kids?" "No, but I have nieces and nephews, 3 of them. They're really fun." "How old are they?" 5, 8, and 10. "I'm 7. "I know. Your dad told me." They walked to the playground. Mia ran ahead to the swings, and Noah and Laya followed slowly. "She's beautiful," Laya said quietly. "She looks like her mom." "She has your smile." Noah's throat closed up. "Thank you for doing this." "Are you kidding? I've been looking forward to this all week." They sat on a bench and watched Mia swing higher and higher, her laughter carrying across the park. "This is what it's all about, isn't it?" Laya said. "Moments like this." "Yeah, I think I forgot that, for a long time." She looked at Noah. "Thank you for reminding me." After an hour, they went to the ice cream place on 5th Street. Mia got chocolate. Laya got vanilla. Noah got nothing because he was too nervous to eat. They sat on the curb, and Mia chattered about school and her friends and the science project she was working on. Laya listened to every word like it was the most important thing she'd ever heard, and Noah watched them together and felt something crack open in his chest. When it was time to go home, Mia hugged Laya goodbye. "Will I see you again?" Mia asked. "Do you want to?" "Yeah, you're nice." Laya's eyes filled with tears. "I'd love that." After Laya left, Mia turned to Noah. "I like her, Daddy." "Yeah. Yeah. She's not fancy at all. She's just nice." Noah pulled her into a hug. "You're right, baby girl. She is." That night, after Mia was asleep, Noah got a text from Laya. "Thank you for today. It meant everything to me." "She loved you," Noah typed back. "I loved her too." "She's incredible, Noah. You're an amazing father. I'm trying. You're succeeding." Noah stared at the message, then typed, "I think I'm falling for you." He hit send before he could change his mind. 3 dots appeared immediately. "Then I think I already fell." Noah's heart stopped. "What does that mean?" he typed. "It means I'm terrified. And I've never felt this way before. And I don't know what to do. Me neither." "So what do we do?" Noah thought about it. About Mia and Laya, and the strange, impossible thing growing between them. "We figure it out," he typed. "Together." "Together," she sent back. "I like the sound of that." 3 weeks later, Laya's new company officially launched. They rented a small office space with room for 10 employees. Noah came in every day, not because he had to, but because he wanted to. His role was vague consultant partner, the person who asked why. Why are we building this feature? Why does it matter? Why should people care? And Laya listened. Every time. One afternoon they were in her office going over designs when Laya's phone rang. She glanced at it and her face went pale. "It's Richard." "Don't answer." "I have to. He still controls my old company." She answered on speaker. "Richard." "Laya, I'm calling to offer you a deal." "I'm not interested." "Hear me out. I want to buy your new company. $5 million. You walk away, I take over, and you never have to worry about funding again." "No." "You haven't even heard my full offer." "I don't need to. I'm not selling." "You're making a mistake." You'll never get a better offer. Watch me." She hung up. Noah stared at her. $5 million. You just turned down $5 million. He doesn't want my company. He wants to destroy it so I can't compete with him. She set her phone down. I'm not giving him that satisfaction. What if he's right? What if you never get a better offer? Then I build something so good that offers don't matter. That's how this works, Noah. You don't sell out. You build something worth keeping. Noah pulled her into his arms. You're incredible. I'm stubborn. Same thing. She laughed against his chest. God, I love you. The words were out before she could stop them. They both froze. Leah pulled back, her eyes wide. I mean I did, but I wasn't going to. Noah kissed her. When they pulled apart, he was smiling. I love you too. Really. Really. But I'm a mess. I'm controlling and workaholic and I don't know how to turn off. I know. And you love me anyway. Especially because of that. She kissed him again, harder this time. We're doing this for real. For real. What about Mia? She already loves you. She told me last week she hopes you're her new mom someday. Leah's eyes filled with tears. She said that. She did. I don't know how to be a mom. You don't have to. You just have to be you. That's always been enough. They stood in her office holding each other, and Noah realized something that made his chest ache in the best way. He'd come to Leah's world looking for money, for survival, for a way to give Mia a better life. And instead, he'd found something he didn't know he needed. He'd found home. 2 months later, Leah's company hit 1 million users. 6 months after that, 10 million. A year later, they were profitable. Richard's company, meanwhile, was struggling, losing users, losing relevance, losing the very thing that had made it special in the first place. One evening, Noah was at Leah's apartment, the same one she'd been living in since she lost her company, because she refused to buy anything bigger until she'd earned it when his phone rang. It was Richard. Don't answer it, Leah said. I want to hear what he has to say. Noah answered. Richard. Noah, I'm calling to apologize. Noah put it on speaker. I'm listening. I was wrong about you, about Leah, about everything. You two built something remarkable, and I destroyed something remarkable because I was too proud to admit she was better than me. He paused. I'm sorry. Thank you, Noah said. But I'm not the one you need to apologize to. Richard was quiet. Then, is she there? Yeah. Leah, I'm sorry. For everything. You deserved better than what I did to you. Leah's jaw worked. Then, you're right. I did. But thank you for saying it. For what it's worth, I hope you two are happy. We are, Noah said. We really are. Richard hung up. Leah turned to Noah. That felt good. Yeah. Yeah, like a door finally closing. Good, because I have something I want to ask you. What? Noah got down on one knee. Leah's hands flew to her mouth. Noah, I don't have a ring yet. I wanted to ask Mia first, make sure she was okay with it. And she is. She's more than okay. She's thrilled. He took Leah's hand. I know this is fast. I know we've only been together for a few months. But I also know I want to spend the rest of my life with you. Building things together. Figuring things out together. Being human together. His voice cracked. Will you marry me? Leah was crying. Yes. God, yes. He stood and kissed her, and she wrapped her arms around his neck and held on like she'd never let go. When they finally pulled apart, she was laughing through her tears. I can't believe you proposed without a ring. I'll buy you one tomorrow. I don't need a ring. I just need you. You have me, always. They stood in her tiny apartment, holding each other, two people who'd found each other in the most unlikely place, and had been brave enough to build something real. A single father who'd started with nothing. A CEO who'd lost everything. And together they'd found more than either of them had ever imagined. 6 months later, they got married in the park where Mia had first met Leah. Small ceremony. Close friends. Mrs. Chen crying in the front row. And when Noah looked at Leia in her simple white dress holding Mia's hand on one side and his on the other, he realized something. He'd spent 3 years believing he was broken, believing he'd never have anything more than survival. But he'd been wrong. Because standing there with the two people he loved most in the world, Noah Hayes finally understood what his wife had been trying to tell him all those years ago. Life doesn't end when you lose something. It just changes shape. And sometimes, if you're brave enough to keep going, you find something even better on the other side. Not because the old thing wasn't worth keeping, but because you were strong enough to build something new. And that's the thing about second chances. They don't erase the past. They just give you permission to write a different future. One day at a time, one moment at a time, one person at a time. Until suddenly, without you even realizing it, you're not just surviving anymore. You're living.